Don't make your habits a source of shame for yourself. You get it, you spray it, and then the next week you're on to the next. How many of us have fragrance collections that we really haven't fully experienced? How many of us have fragrances that we really haven't learned from them everything that it has to teach us? What a luxurious woman does is she waits. Why? Because ain't nothing going nowhere. We talk a lot over here about how fragrance is a form of identity expression. So what happens when you don't know who you are yet? Are you collecting fragrances or are you collecting personalities? Okay, because something that I have realized is that the women who have the most fragrances are not enjoying fragrance the most. So at the end of the day, this is not going to be a video that chastises you for buying and tells you not to buy, because sometimes we buy fragrances so that we can experience ourselves in a different way. Sometimes we buy fragrances to reward ourselves, to feel accomplished. But sometimes our fragrance addiction is signaling something else that is lacking within our own identity as women. And if you know, Kia, I'm going to hit it on head first and we're going to go ahead and talk about it. So it's not about not buying or telling yourself that you need to deprive yourself of something that you love and enjoy. It's how can we maximize our buying habits, our fragrance purchases, our consumption in a way that aligns with who we are and the women that we want to be. So if you are interested in trying to understand the psychology of why you may be over consuming fragrance, what it has to do with your identity and how you can align that identity with your fragrances to become more of a greater version of yourself, then you are in the right place. So welcome back to all of my subbies, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kia, and over here we smell good and elevate. You're never fully dressed without a fragrance, and in addition to our fragrance conversations, we talk about womanhood as a whole. We have a series on this channel called the Signature Woman Series that just helps us to identify the type of woman who we want to be. How can we show up as her consistently so that we can feel the way that we want to feel and present ourselves very well in this world and get the response that we want. I'm going to go ahead and give y'all my fragrance combination of the day before we hop in. So we are brown sugar babes. So I went in with the Iconic Oil, which is the rendition of one of the fragrances from the House of Mind Games. The name is escaping me right now, but this has some tonka, some passion fruit, some woods in here. It's a beautiful, juicy fragrance that just gives this summertime vibe with like balanced woodiness. And then I went in with the Noise Moisture Milk in the fragrance Detour. So this is some apples, some fruits, some vanilla, some woods. It has like a burst of bergamot in here, I believe. It has a creamy juiciness that just pairs really, really well with the Iconic Oil. And then from the House of Fleur, I topped it off with a little bit of vanilla smoke. So this has some vanilla, some Peru balsam, also some bergamot, and just like this undertone of juiciness that balances out the woodiness and the smokiness and the incense in here. I wore this combination yesterday. Y'all know how I can get into a fixation and wear a combination like back to back to back. And my friend was like, oh my God, you smell good. What are you wearing? This was the combo. This is what I was wearing. Now, if I was to add a fragrance with it, just to really set it off, Honeymoon from Fleur. I'm still in the house, and when I leave, I'm gonna spray a little Honeymoon from Fleur. But yesterday I didn't even spray the Honeymoon. Got compliments on it from my friend, so there you have it. There's a difference between expression, exploration, and escapism. Escapism is not a bad thing. I personally feel like it's a very emotionally intelligent skill to have, to be able to find the beauty in the little things and to sometimes, fixate on something that gives you a little bit of joy in the moment to drown out the noise of other things that might be going on. But when it's yourself that you're trying to escape from, that's when it becomes a problem, because I feel like in today's society, so many people are framing their identity from the lens of consumerism, from what they can buy, from what they can get their hands on, from what they possess, and then letting their possessions completely define them. And again, having possessions is a form of self-expression. Over here, we do not shame people for having things. You can have as many things as you want, as many things as is a good thing that you are enjoying and that you are using. That's what I feel. There's nothing wrong with having a lot of things or excess of things that you love, but for me, I feel like there has to be a threshold to where it's like you're actually using the things, that they're not going to waste. Now, I have an extensive fragrance collection, maybe not as big as some of the fragrance influencers because I am not an influencer, which I always tell y'all, and part of the reason is because I'm not a part of leading you down a path for overconsumption's sake. I have like 90 to 100 fragrances, and for the average person, that is a lot, but I am willing to bet that at least 20 of those fragrances I have repurchased, and of those, I have repurchased more than one time. I'm going to do my signature scents video for y'all next to show y'all what fragrances that have been in my collection for years, things that I have repurchased, because my idea of a fragrance collection is not every single thing that I can collect. It's what is going to make the cut for my collection in the long run, and the things that remain is what makes up my collection. Think about a wine collector. Just because you make a wine, just because they have that $5.99 wine that tastes good at Trader Joe's, is it going to make it into their collection? Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but every single wine in the world is not going to make this stellar collection of wine that a person has. There's going to be some level of rigor. There's going to be a level of criteria. There has to be some novelty, some specialty, some distinguishment that puts you in a different category. Just because you had a hit doesn't mean you're going to be a part of the Hall of Fame. There's a lot of people out there in the world that have made hit songs that we love and we enjoy, but then there's other people that have, stood the test of time, because time over time they're providing that consistency. They're just providing something else that just makes people feel something, and that's what gets them in the Hall of Fame. So shout out to the one hit wonders, but you're not gonna make the cut into the Hall of Fame. And that's the same kind of idea that we have to have with our fragrance collection and the things that we're consuming. And the reason why is because time is money. We have heard this time and time again, and in a capitalistic society, you cannot deny that time is in fact money, because most people are going to work trading their time for money. These brands market to us, and then if they're able to get you to purchase the next thing at the drop of a dime, even though you've already purchased something, even though you already have something similar, even though you don't necessarily know if it's quite your vibe, but they're able to put the messaging and the packaging in front of you in a compelling way for the next thing is, oh, smell luxurious. It promises you to be more stylish. It promises you to smell rich. And then it's like, is that really you, or is it something that you aspire to, or is it something that you want to emulate? The fragrance cannot become the woman that you are meant to be for you. If you're seeking to be rich or live a more luxurious life or to feel soft, those fragrances can add to the vibes. If you want to feel comfort, and if you need to, secure yourself and your emotions and that kind of thing, like all of these gourmand fragrances can be comforting and nostalgic. But at the end of the day, is there some other critical things that we need to be working on ourselves, our personalities, our mental states, our states of being? Because I'm going to tell you one thing as well. These brands, they study consumers. They study consumer behavior. Our time and our attention is very valuable, and how you spend it is very valuable. And how you spend your time and how you spend your money, you already distinguish yourself on if you are a luxurious woman, if you are a rich woman, or if you are a soft woman or a relaxed woman. And you put yourself in that category, and then your consumption habits are a part of that. And the reason why I say this is because these brands try to create a sense of urgency. The most luxurious asset that you can access and express is leisure, is having time. If you are not so rushed, if you are not so anxious to buy this thing because you're concerned if it's going to sell out, you're concerned if someone's going to have it and you're not, and you just have this complete itch to smell it and to have it completely, what a luxurious woman does is she waits. Why? Because ain't nothing going nowhere. The world doesn't, start and stop when an advertiser or an influencer tells her she needs this next best thing to make herself who she is. She starts her world with herself at the center, and she's able to take a breather, take a step back and say, wouldn't it be nice if I added this into my collection? And someday I will, but it does not have to be today. Why? Because what are we really in a rush about? Like I always say, no matter what topic that we cover, fragrance, fashion, lifestyle, who am I trying to be in this next phase of my life, and how my fragrance wardrobe support that? Okay, so these are the questions that we need to be asking ourselves. And I'm never going to be a part of promoting the overconsumption or the excess, because there was a time where I started and there was only 5 fragrances sitting on my vanity, and 3 of them was from Zara, and I went out, I was cute, I wore my fragrance, I collected my compliments, because I was gonna get a compliment regardless. And that's what I want women to know as well. Like, the only thing is not on you, it's actually in you, because when you see a woman, she's put together, she got it going on, and then you get close enough to her and you smell her and she smells good. The only thing is, I knew it. You already knew she was gonna smell good because it's in the packaging. Okay, it's the same thing. Like, if we see something, if it looks good and it smells good, the only next logical thing is going to be what it tastes like. You see what I'm saying? Are we still talking about fragrances? I'm asking you. Influencers that have the latest and the greatest, y'all, that's their job, and they're doing that as a courtesy to you, so that they can give you a discography of saying these are all of the fragrances available, so that you can select from them and help you to shape and find your fragrance identity. And it's not so that you go out and get every single little thing. So I know it can be very compelling, especially if a person is, good at what they're doing, and they're able to describe it in a way to say, this is for the type of woman that is a go-getter, and she's friendly, she has a lot of friends, she takes vacations, and everyone loves her. That's great. Like, this is such a beautiful, friendly, fluffy marshmallow gourmand fragrance, and you might think, oh, that sounds nice, I want that. But that is the language of advertising, and it's easy for us to fall into that with the newest thing, the newest hype, because of course you're going to say the best thing that you can about something that you need to get it out the door and get it flying off the shelves. But then that's where that identity work comes in, where the fragrance archetypes come in, that I created on this channel for us to explore. Because yes, we have different facets, different personalities, and it's not about having rigid rules. I always say this, but it's about knowing what your arc is, so that you can lean into that, and then you can drown out the noise. Of course, there's going to be facets of everything that we have, but most of us have one thing that kind of stands out a little bit to us more, and that is evidence in our fragrance collections with the things that we grab for. We pick up certain things more than others, and then other things are just sitting there looking at us, and we're looking at it, and we're looking at it, and it's like you never really are wearing this $400 bottle of perfume that you purchased, which is why I always say, wear your fragrance, wear it daily, no matter what the price point is, because we cannot glorify items. No item is above us. So I don't care if it's a random Monday or Tuesday, you need to pull out that $400 bottle of perfume and not just have it sitting on the shelf because you wore it once or twice. Because to me, how I feel, items are meant to be enjoyed. They're meant to be used, which is why I say treat yourself to the fragrances that you have purchased for yourself. Think about it. If you were that fragrance sitting on the shelf, yes, we're about to personify fragrances, like how would you feel? Okay, if you were purchased once, used one time, there was all of this hype to bring you into the world, bring you into the space, and then you get it, you spray it, and then the next week you're on to the next. How many of us have fragrance collections that we really haven't fully experienced? How many of us have fragrances that we really haven't learned from them everything that it has to teach us? How many of us have fragrances that we haven't sat with or sampled or smelled across seasons or in different scenarios? How many of us are missing out on the opportunity to actually wear a fragrance more, to kind of get a groove of it, to kind of establish a signature, to wear it and then find it laying on an old scarf, or pull your jacket out the closet and get a memory from a great night that you had and go get the fragrance again, or get into your car and smell the fragrance still? How many of us have so many great fragrances that we're not even going down the road of enjoyment with before we're chasing the next high and the next rush? Because a luxurious woman, a signature woman, woman, which we talk about on this channel, she is embodied. She knows who she is. She doesn't need the next trend to give her a high or to dictate who she is. The high is from that embodiment, from that consistency of knowing who you are. And if I'm wrong, then how come even with the influencers, even with these people that push all these products, 2, 3, 4 years down the line, it's like, I quit, I burn out, I'm going on a no buy, well, I'm not buying anything else. And again, I think that's a flawed premise that society promotes to us as well. It's actually very childish, which is why people don't take women specifically seriously, because it's an all or nothing mentality instead of having an adult reasoning mentality of being balanced, of saying, hey, I really like these fragrances and I am going to purchase them one day. The ones that I really want, yes, I can get them. If there's a sale or something like that that I want to be a part of, no one's saying that you can't have fun. No one's saying you can't load your cart up and, be a part of a launch of a brand that you really like or that's really meaningful to you. Y'all all know what I did when it was the Brown Sugar Babe sale. Okay, I bought 17 oils. So I'm not saying that you can't participate in nothing and deprive yourself, but how much do I get on camera every single time y'all see me? I'm holding up the oils and I'm giving y'all the fragrance combinations, posting them on my feed in the community section, because I'm actually using them. I'm actually enjoying them from a spiritual perspective. Not to get too deep on y'all, I'm not trying to preach to y'all or convert or indoctrinate, but what I'm saying too is from a spiritual perspective, it's like you have to use the things that you are given. Otherwise, I feel like it is wasteful. Okay, so the same things that you bring into your life in excess, if it's not something that you're able to really use, those same items can start to become a detriment to you. You can start looking at them as a source of like anxiety. Just go ahead, take that how you will, but I feel like there is more of a healthy relationship with the things that you purchase when you are actually using them and appreciating them and valuing them, because it's almost like a disrespect of your own time when you buy something that you spent your time working for and then you just sit it on the shelf and you don't use it. So that's a whole nother just energetic thing that's just getting muddied in your energy field that you really just don't want, from my perspective. So it's not that you can't afford it. It's not that you have to go on a no buy so you can never get it. It's not that you have to punish yourself for everything that you've already gotten. It's literally just like treat yourself to the things that you already have. Enjoy what it is that you have, and then if there's something else that tickles your fancy or piques your curiosity, you're entitled to follow that natural curiosity. But what makes a self-identified woman different is that she is self-validated. The next fragrance trend, she doesn't have to hop on it. It's not going to add anything to her outside of what she's already predetermined of who she is. Me, I want to put this out there. I don't buy things that I cannot afford. I never have and I never will. If you are spending yourself into debt or paycheck to paycheck type of situation because you have a fragrance addiction, I am not a part of that, okay? I am not the person that is promoting that. This is why I talk about becoming the woman that you want to be, the identity work. Yes, you can do what you want to do, but you don't have to do everything that is available to you. So I'm going to just go ahead and be the person when they say run, don't walk. No, you need to pump the brakes. You need to literally just go ahead and take several seats if you are putting yourself in a financial bind, because that is not empowering. The number one thing that we talk about on this channel is women's empowerment. And in order to empower yourself, you need to know yourself. You need to have resources. You need to identify how you want to show up and show up that way consistently. Okay. So if you don't have 3-4 times the amount of money in your bank account of the amount of the fragrance that you're going to purchase, take it from me. You need to go ahead and sit back, and you don't need to be making that purchase, because I don't play like that when it comes to my ladies. I'm gonna tell y'all the real. I am not one of those people that perpetrates a fraud or tries to live up to a lifestyle that I can't sustain or maintain or anything like that, and I do not wish the same for y'all. So I feel like as a responsible person with a platform that needs to do a little bit of washing of the minds, of the brainwashing and the programming, and and the chasing that women have been conditioned to follow due to lack of self-esteem and keeping up with the Joneses, I'm not the one telling you to do that. And I would advise you to have your house in order, have your affairs directly in order, ma'am, okay? So the goal is not to have the biggest fragrance collection. It's to have the collection that feels like you, that works for you, that speaks to you across scenarios. I have several videos about that. Same way with how you show up, your look, your fashions, your wardrobe, your hair. We have all of those video topics that we have covered on this channel as well. It might sound a little bit deep, but here we are. This is my video. This is what we're talking about. Like, don't make your habits a source of shame for yourself. There's already enough things that can make women feel bad that are targeted towards us, and nobody even asked for it. You just open your phone and someone's trying to like make you feel inadequate or bad about something. But don't, be a part of like your own demise to your own confidence and self-esteem by doing things that you don't feel proud of later, and then coming into a cycle of having to repeat that behavior to distract yourself from the behavior. Like, be proud of yourself, be proud of your decisions, be proud of your purchases. If you're proud of it, if you're proud of your collection, if you have no regrets, if it's fulfilling you, then keep on going. But if this is causing you to want to pause, to say like, what am I chasing? Am I, trying to find my perfect fragrance, my signature scent, or am I trying to find myself? Well, there's other things that we can do to embark upon that journey. Have no fear, I'm here to help with that. Yeah, babes, let me know, what did you think about this video? Are we collecting perfumes or are we collecting personalities? Do you constantly feel the pressure and anxiety to buy the next fragrance? Do you feel like you have a fragrance addiction? Is it because of an identity issue? Is it because of some type of validation that you want to chase, or some type of reward system that you've convinced yourself that you're giving yourself, when really the reward is being you, baby, and you don't need nothing else? Please let us know in the comments down below. And if anyone has overcome a fragrance addiction and you have any tips that can help the next person, this is a community. Please go ahead and write your experience and share in the comments down below, and write where you might need help or tips with. But as always, y'all, thank you so much for tuning into this video. Please go ahead and like this video, hype it up if you enjoy the content, leave me a comment down below, and subscribe to my channel for more womanhood conversations and fun fragrance videos like this. And I will catch y'all in my next video. Bye.